It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Waking Up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. As we get started on this Wednesday, some of you might have been woken up by a thunderstorm earlier this morning. Did you hear that thunder rumbling in Hancock County? We were tracking a thunderstorm during Good Morning, Mississippi, right there near the Silver Slipper Casino. So we'll take a look at that. The rest of today's rain chances as we track a cool front. Yeah, there's going to be cooler temperatures. Maybe not today, but definitely by tomorrow morning. And before we even get to tomorrow morning, some of us might even notice some lower humidity. So that's something to look forward to as you plan your day and get your Wednesday started. Let's get you to the latest information here as we start things off today. So this is a look at what we're tracking, and it's basically what I just mentioned. Rain chances, lower humidity, cooler morning tomorrow. And in order to get to those changes, we had to go through some rain chances. So there's a look at this morning's first alert radar. This was earlier this morning during the 6 o'clock hour, during the 7 o'clock hour, when there was a pretty decent thunderstorm that popped up right there over parts of coastal Hancock County. I can kind of slow down the map a little bit and show how it went right through Ainsley there. And there were some lightning strikes that were detected by the radar with that particular thunderstorm. Fortunately, at this moment in time, it has now moved offshore. Most of the rain during the 8 o'clock hour this morning has now pushed to the south of our coast. If we're lucky, it'll stay there for the rest of the entire day as the cool front continues to move farther and farther southward. However, there is a possibility that maybe some more rain showers could try to develop at some point later today. So that's why we keep a chance for rain in the forecast today. It's not 0%, but it sure is not 100 either. So this is the hit or miss nature where some of us will get hit by these showers, and I suspect many of us might just wind up missing out. You can see that rain chance during the current hour about 30%. And then as we go to 10 o'clock this morning, still seeing that 30% chance for rain. So if you're planning some Wednesday morning activities to be out and about, maybe take an umbrella just in case. But one of our computer models actually brings some of those afternoon showers into the mix. So you can see maybe near Picayune, a little bit higher rain chance, and the parts of maybe just to the north of Diamond Head near the Kill, maybe a little bit higher rain chance for you at times this afternoon. We'll see if those actually develop. They will be fighting some drier air. And when rain showers are fighting against drier air, they don't always win. And so there might not be as much rain as one of our models is suggesting. We go toward the late afternoon, and it looks like those rain chances still holding at 30% by 4 p.m. But then by the evening hours around 6, 7, or 8 p.m., that's when we'll start to see that decreasing rain chance down to 20% and eventually down to 10% later overnight. So where's that cool front located? This is the latest position that I'm tracking it on the weather map. Looks like it's stretching across the Texas coast as well as the coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. It's moving through southern Alabama and through central Georgia and even into the Carolinas. This front does have an area of rain showers associated ahead of it, and I can kind of circle where those are located on the map. If we pause the radar right here, we can see that some of those showers are located right about here, and they're going to continue to move toward the east and the southeast, generally speaking. Now, there is one little area that's just to the west of our coast, on the coast of Louisiana, and that's what one of our computer models is indicating. Maybe that area of rain over Louisiana might come more straight east instead of southeast. So if it comes more straight east, maybe that's how we could get into some afternoon rain chances for South Mississippi. But generally, most of this stuff should be moving offshore. So that's why we're keeping the chance pretty low, but not zero. So there's some cooler and drier air behind this front. If you don't believe me, just take a look at the numbers. Down to the lower 60s this morning near Oxford, And you can see some of those cooler temperatures in the state capital too, lower 70s near Jackson, as well as near Meridian and Vicksburg. But down here on the coast, it's still really warm. Biloxi showing a temperature of 80 degrees. So the front hasn't really completely made it through the Mississippi coast just yet. But once it does, some of that cooler air will begin to trickle down our way over the next 24 hours. More importantly, the less humid air is also going to trickle down our way over the next 24 hours, and that's even closer to us. So right now we're still dealing with muggier dew points on the Mississippi coast in the 70s, but the air is already turning drier. I don't know where you're watching this from in South Mississippi, but if you're watching this from an area to the north of I-10, you might already be noticing maybe just already a little change in the air. We can move this map up a little bit more to the north and notice that the state capital, Jackson, in the 50s for their dew points right now. So it's pleasantly crisp and dry there. And we're also seeing some 50s in the northern part of the state as well. So that drier air is beginning to move farther and farther south. This is what I was talking about. Depending on where you're watching from South Mississippi, I see a number of 64 near Wiggins and Big Level. So it feels noticeably less humid near Wiggins and Big Level compared to Moss Point, Pascagoula, where it is still in the mid-70s for those dew points during the current moment in time. And all of that sort of drier air is going to continue to move farther and farther southward. Our dew point forecast showing the morning with the dew points in the 70s, but as we get to later this morning, seeing more 60s, and then by this afternoon, we might even find a few 50s for dew points in parts of our 6 southernmost counties. Obviously, the farther north you are, the better your odds of getting a really noticeable drop in the humidity. But if you are pretty close to the coast, it might not be as noticeable, but there will be a difference. Now, as far as the temperatures today are concerned, that's the one part that's kind of the trickiest part of the forecast because there's so many competing features. I'm pretty confident our afternoon temperature should be somewhere in the 80s. But will it be in the lower 80s? Because it's so cloudy and because there's a cool front moving in? Or will our high temperature be hotter, closer to 90? Because maybe it's not as cloudy as we expect. And if you get more of that late spring, higher angle sunshine to heat things up here, in addition to the air turning drier, which allows for daytime temperatures to heat more quickly, all of those are factors that could make the temperature hotter. So, you know, it's usually we're pretty good at getting the temperature forecast down to a specific degree or maybe a range of like 3 to 5 degrees. But today my range is literally like from 81 to 89, maybe even 80 to 90. So we'll see where it winds up. But those are the factors that we are considering for your high temperature forecast today. A little bit tricky there. But one thing that's not tricky is going to be the temperature forecast tonight, because we're expecting it to be cool everywhere. I mean, how can you not be cooler? I mean, this morning it's in the 70s, so anywhere that gets to the 60s by tomorrow will easily be cooler than it is this morning. And for some of us, this will be the coolest morning we will have seen in over a week. So maybe it's a welcome sight, a sight for sore eyes, a relief from the relentless warm mornings. But this relief might be kind of brief. Don't expect it to last very long, but at least one morning for you on Thursday, we should get to those relatively cooler temps. I want to see what the next 4 mornings look like. So let's take a look at those. Places that are inland would be in the lower 60s on Thursday morning. So places like Wiggins and Poplarville and Lucedale. Places on the coast might only be in the mid or upper 60s. Places like Gaucher and Long Beach, and other places south of I-10. You'll notice Friday morning we're also looking at morning temperatures in the 60s. So you got kind of 2 relatively cooler mornings. But by the time we get to the holiday weekend, those morning temperatures are already going to start to warm up a little bit more. So we could see more of those 70s, if not by Saturday morning, definitely by Sunday morning as those mornings turn milder for us. Our forecast into the next 7 days, looking ahead to the holiday weekend. If you have plans on Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances look slim to none, so the weather should be very cooperative if you are going to be spending time with family, friends, observing the Memorial Day weekend. However, on Monday, the actual Memorial Day, go figure, the rain chance is increasing. There will be a cool front trying to move into the area during the first part of next week. And so that is the reason why the rain chance will increase ahead of that front at some point around next Monday or next Tuesday. So if you are actually planning to observe Memorial Day on the day and, spend time with family and friends on Monday, just note for your planning purposes that the rain chance could be a little bit higher on that day, and the chance will probably increase the day after next Monday as well, next Tuesday. But if you have to work next Monday, like me, and you might not be observing the holiday on the holiday or spending time with family and friends, so maybe it doesn't matter, and maybe I'll be better off getting my plans done on Saturday and Sunday. That way the chance for rain is lower and I won't have to worry about those higher rain chances. That'll do it for this Wednesday edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you have a great day. Take care, and we'll see you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.